this computer. Okay. Okay. So
Thank
we're
you.
recording now because you
Perfect.
want it to be recorded. Okay.
Great.
So, like we were just discussing, the body is mainly fluids, 70% water. All the systems need to function well. That means the fluids need to work well. What do these fluids, what do these systems do? They bring in something that all different parts of the body, all different organs in the body need. And they also take out whatever is not needed, the toxins, the waste, and both have to function well, both have to do their jobs well to be able to bring this system into a sense of wellness.
Wow. And so belly breathing helps that
Very
process.
good, very good.
Okay.
I'll
So
tell you
then,
why.
yeah. So I was reading about it and practicing how to do it, but I want to make sure that I'm doing it right.
Yes,
Um, so
I'll get you to practice. I'll show you how to do
okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first, like I said, the foundation breath is the belly breath.
Okay.
Belly breathing is what a child, a newborn child does.
Yes.
But there is a difference. We say the child does it. He doesn't do it.
He does it
It
naturally.
happens. It just
Yeah.
happens. So if it happens, then obviously there is a condition in which it happens. So if we understand what this condition is, then belly breathing happens. Now, the heart can circulate the blood or the cardiovascular system. You know, it can pump the blood in the cardiovascular system, and that's great and that's important. But what about the other systems like the lymphatic system, the endocrine system, the digestive system, the reproductive system? There are fluids that need to work their way through these systems as well, and there are other systems as well. Heart cannot do it all. If heart were made to do all of that as well, it probably would collapse. There may be some salutary, some side benefit as the heart pumps. It could benefit, for example, the lymphatic system to some extent, but it's not enough. This is where the belly comes in. The diaphragm is probably the biggest muscle in the body, or at least among the biggest muscles in the body. How does the diaphragm work? When the diaphragm relaxes, it moves outwards, downwards. As it moves downwards, it pushes on whatever is there, which tends to go outwards. And as the diaphragm moves up, it causes the lungs to compress. It puts pressure on the lungs, and that is what causes the breath to leave. The lungs have no muscles of their own.
Interesting.
Yet, like the heart has its own muscles. That's how it's, if I can use that word, muscles, but that's how it's able to do the beating. But the lungs have no muscles of their own. It's the
Wow. Okay.
diaphragm. It's the diaphragm which works the lungs. Unfortunately, most people pay so little attention to their breath, their breathing tends to be shallow.
Yes, that's how mine always has been.
But I wouldn't blame you, Christy, because that's endemic. It's the case with everybody. Everybody's breathing tends to be shallow, improper, and sometimes not even through the nose, sometimes through the mouth, which is not good. So breathing, of course, has to be through the nose, but the deeper the breathing, the better. Now, when we say
Okay.
deeper the breathing, what does that mean? Deeper the breathing means your breath
Fan-
should, yes, your breath should go or use the full capacity of the lungs. Now,
Okay.
unfortunately, when we ask somebody to take a deep breath, you know what he does? He does the opposite.
Really?
Yes. When we say when we tell some when we ask somebody to take a deep breath, what they do is
Oh, okay.
see they are
Yeah.
actually constricting it. They are actually trying to push the lungs inwards. It can't be a deep breath then, nor can it be good breath. A deep breath means you just allow your body to be extremely relaxed, especially the belly area. Now, this belly area is very interesting. Other than our arms, for example, our the muscular system in the arms or the legs, etc., where the muscles are obvious, it's the belly which has the muscles in this area, in this part of the system. And this is the part you, for example, you cannot move your muscles in the chest area, right? You cannot move any muscle. You can only move the muscles in the belly area. And which is also actually not the muscles that are moving, but the diaphragm. So when you teach your belly to be relaxed, as you breathe in, your diaphragm moves outwards or moves downwards and pushes everything outwards. And when it comes back inwards to throw the air out of the lungs, it comes up and the belly moves in.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
I was listening to a podcast about the belly breathing, and it was talking about how most humans, when we breathe, in 1 minute, we breathe in and out 11 times. But if we're able to slow that down to 6 or less, that
Yes.
we can actually extend our life. So I was practicing and I was getting down to 3. So is it
Um,
better to
yes,
breathe in
but
deep
it
breaths
has to
and
be done more naturally
okay.
rather than forcing it just to get the
Yeah.
squeeze that time out somehow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it needs to be done because see, notice one thing. One tends to be more the breathing tends to be more relaxed when we are at ease. When we are stressed or any un, under any kind of negative emotion, anger, for example, upset, sadness, or whatever, any of these negative emotions, our breathing tends to be faster and shallower because this
That
belly region tends to be tight. So the
the other
mind,
thing is, have you noticed this too? This is something I thought was amazing, and I'd never heard this before. That if you start to lose control of your emotions, if you get angry or stress or anxiety or jealousy or rage, and your heart starts to pound and your breath starts to shorten, that what you can do is take control of your breath, and taking control of your breath will actually affect your emotions. Have you ever heard that before?
I experience it all the time. It's absolutely true.
Wow, that's amazing.
See, understand one thing. Everybody talks about the mind. We'll come back to the belly breathing in a moment, but let's go to the mind because the mind and the system, especially the belly area, they are interconnected like this. They're almost like, conjoined like this. Any
Wow.
stress in the mind causes stress in the belly. It's just so intertwined. But then the question is, what is the mind? Where is the mind? So we have a brain here, but the brain and the mind are not the same thing. They're different. Scientists agree that we have a mind. Almost all scientists, they say that we have a mind. So it's not as if the mind is in question. There is a mind. Just as many believe we have a soul. But where is the soul? Can anybody say that the soul is here? It's there, but it's hard to pinpoint exactly the location of the soul, that sort of thing. So the mind is there in the body. Some say the mind is in the body. Some say the mind is both in and out. So it's hard to put a location because it's not uni-located or located in one single place. The mind is actually a combination of all our emotions. Mind is very deeply connected with emotions. And the emotions are generated throughout the endocrine system. I wrote a piece about this a few days ago. I don't know if you saw it. I might have
I
sent it to
haven't,
you.
I finally today don't have any guests and can have some downtime and
Okay.
can read and do things.
Okay. All right. Nice. So I hope you'll catch up on your reading then. But I shared a
Yes,
few pieces, including something on this, on the mind and the endocrine system and so on. So
thank
the
you.
mind is actually very deeply connected with emotions. Now, notice one more thing. If you look at your own memories, whatever you remember, the oldest things or or most of the things that you tend to remember are those where there was a strong emotion.
Sure. Makes sense.
If there was no emotion, you'll probably remember nothing about whatever happened.
Right. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
now there is an emotional memory. Emotion, see, we have a term which we call trigger. When somebody says something, does something, it triggers us. It's very commonly
Yes.
used nowadays, right? So what
Yes.
is this
Yes.
trigger? What is meant by this trigger?
It's reminding you of something from the
Yes,
past. Yeah.
yes, it's reminding you of something from the past, and it's reminding you through your emotions.
Yes.
So suddenly someone says something, does something, suddenly one part of you, one emotion suddenly comes to the fore, and the person reacts almost unthinkingly. We say
Yes.
triggered.
Yes.
This, so the emotional memory, etc., is very deeply connected with our karma or karmic load. What is karmic load? Big question. We'll deal with this another day. Our focus today is mainly on the belly breathing aspect. So, do you have a yoga mat handy?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, very good. So, what we'll do is I'll show you how to do it. I'll lie down on the on this thing here, and you might also want to do the same thing. Lie down
Okay.
as I show you, and bring your legs, knees to face the ceiling or the roof.
Okay.
Now, don't use a pillow under your head,
Okay.
and just lie like this.
I'm
Is
getting
this
my
picture
yoga.
clear?
Yes. I can see very good.
Okay, great. So just lie like this, and you may place one hand on the belly
Okay.
and one hand on the chest,
Okay.
and just feel what's happening. Notice where the movement is. Can you lie down?
I'm opening my mat.
Okay, okay. So on your back, nothing under the head,
Okay.
knees folded and pointing to the ceiling. So that means the heels are pulled up.
Okay.
One hand in the belly region, on the belly, one hand on the chest.
Okay.
Just hold the posture and see where the movement is. Do nothing. Let whatever is happening, let it happen. You might notice that it's the belly that's moving up and down. Is that right?
My chest was. I was
Your chest was?
natural.
Okay. Okay. So
My
just
natural breathing was in my chest.
okay. So just relax for a while. Just be like that. Close your eyes if you like. If you notice my body, you might see that there is movement on the belly,
Yes.
but nothing in the chest.
Okay.
I think you still got movement in the chest, right?
I know I'm not very good at this.
No, no, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just be like this. I'll sit up. so I can guide you. Right. Just stay, just hold that. You hold that. You hold that
Okay.
posture. Stay like that. Yeah. Yeah. Fold your, bring your heels so that your knees point to the ceiling. Yeah. Perfect. Just be like that for a while.
Is it so
So,
I'm actually like I'm not doing it naturally. I'm trying to use my stomach,
oh,
right?
no, you don't need to do anything. Just
Well, if
be
I
like that.
okay.
Oh, one more thing. I think your head is a little raised because of the mat. Is it? Is
No,
your head? No, it's okay. Okay.
it's flat.
Okay.
You want to see my head?
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So one hand on your belly. Now a little movement has started in the belly region, if you notice.
yeah.
Though there is movement in the chest as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just be like that. Be like that for a while. Don't worry. Don't even think that I'm looking at you or anything. You just be there. You may close your
Okay.
eyes. As they say, sometimes you close your eyes and count the sheep. So maybe start counting the sheep.
Okay.
So let it happen. We'll just talk about something else for a while.
Okay.
If you
Should I
see,
stay like this?
you just stay like that. Just hold that
Okay.
for a while. I'll keep talking to you. I think you can
Okay.
hear me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you notice a newborn baby, for example, like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year old, and when the
Yes.
baby is lying in bed, the baby's belly moves. Nothing else moves. There's no movement in the chest. There's certainly no movement in the shoulders. The belly goes up and down. It's not as if that the baby was told by the mother or someone that it's got to breathe in a certain way. It just happened. It just happened because nature programmed, taught the baby, if you like, to breathe in that way. So the one thing that you'll notice is a child is usually a very relaxed being. Child is not stressed like many of us adults may be. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. And
Ah,
I always notice little kids that their belly, they breathe through their bellies. You can see their bellies move when they
move,
breathe.
yes. So now I can see that there is a little more movement happening in your belly region. So your belly tends to move up and down a little more now. Now, the thing is, see, your chest movement has reduced. It's still there. There is some movement, but it's relatively less. What you will notice is you're in a state of relaxedness. You're a little more relaxed than you may have been earlier.
Right.
So there is this deep connection between being at ease, being relaxed, and belly breathing happening.
Right.
Now you're lying down, you really have nothing to do, nothing to no, no roles to perform, don't have to work or meet people and so on. So your system is at ease relatively. And as you hold this posture, this position for a while, you might even feel a little drowsy, a little sleepy. See, just holding this position for a few minutes, and sometimes even less actually, the body comes to a state of very nice and comfortable position of ease, being relaxed, and so on. And when the body is in this position, the mind is in this position, belly breathing starts happening. However, if someone is, emotionally fired up for whatever reason, then belly breathing may take a little longer to happen. But for most people, usually, if they are not overly stressed, not overly fired up, if they just hold this posture, this position for a little while, belly breathing starts happening naturally. Yes, now I see more movement in the belly region, though relatively less, but uh, almost no movement in the chest now. Is that right, Christy?
Yeah. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
And you feeling relaxed?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, come sit. Come sit. So this is belly breathing. You didn't do it, it happened. Now the trick is your mind or your system may not always remember how to get here. So every time you want to remind yourself, lie down like this for a couple minutes and let belly breathing take over. Don't do anything. If you do it, something else will happen.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And we'll come to that. We'll cover that in a while.
So it's
But when
better to allow it to happen naturally than to try
yes,
to belly breathe.
yes,
Ah, okay.
in in the act of doing, a certain set of emotions and a certain game starts in the system. But when,
Oh, wow.
for example, the blood that is circulating in your body, are you doing it? The food that is being digested in and by and through your body, are you doing it?
No.
No, it's happening. Similarly, all the healing, repair, all the major functions that are happening in the system are all happening without you, despite you.
Okay. So are we belly breathing at night? Then probably when we sleep, we're probably just naturally belly breathing.
There is definitely more belly breathing happening at night than there is in the morning during the daytime, and that is why people are actually able to function. If
Oh, because they had their sleep. Wow.
because
So we
they've
want
had
to
their
try to
sleep.
belly breathe all day if we can.
Yeah, so this is where the real change starts happening. During the night, your body needs to heal, repair itself, etc. And by the grace of God or whatever being you want to call it,
Yeah,
this process takes over, and your body gets into a shape so that it's able to function the next day.
right.
If it did not do that, probably functioning the next day would be next to impossible. So there was a very interesting experiment conducted in Russia, I think during those Cold War days, etc., after the war, etc. So what they did was they had some prisoners, and they deprived the prisoners of sleep.
It's
One
horrible.
night, 2 nights, 10 nights. In fact, this is fairly well documented, and you'll find references to this online as well. I read about it a very long time ago, so I may not remember details too much. But anyway, so these prisoners were sleep deprived. And would you believe, within a few days, they started going a little bonkers, a little wonky, a little crazy.
Yeah,
And it got so bad, it came to a point where they actually started eating their own flesh.
that's horrible. It's so sad. Yeah, and I heard that it's irreversible. So like if you keep them up for several days, whatever damage has happened, it's
It's trapped.
irreversible. That's
Yes.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah. So that's why sleep is so important. But what kind of sleep? If we go to bed stressed, sleep takes much longer to happen. And when it happens, it's not as restful as we would like our sleep to be. So we wake up again in the morning feeling a little stressed, a little tired, a little wound up, even in the morning. When we go to bed very stressed. So again, this is also something that we'll cover in some later conversation. But for now, this aspect of your being, belly breathing, if you if you allow this belly breathing to happen through the day, how do you allow it to happen? Every time your attention goes to your breath, allow this state of being to happen, and belly breathing will also happen.
Yes.
So let belly breathing happen as much as possible. Over time, if it becomes your default breath, that's perfect. It
Right.
should become your default breath.
Okay.
So all the body's operations, so to speak, are handled by the autonomic nervous system. All the different numerous things that are happening inside the body, the digestion, the movement of the blood, the fighting of any infections or any foreign bodies, and the body is constantly doing so many multifarious things, and all of this is happening without our awareness. It's all happening inside, and the blood
Yeah.
is rushing down and up and down and up all the time, and so on. So much happening. And it's all controlled by the body's autonomic nervous system. The autonomous nervous system itself has two parts. One is called the sympathetic nervous system. The other is the parasympathetic nervous system. If one works, the other doesn't. If the other works, the first one doesn't. So it's either or.
Okay.
Now, how does this function? Which of these is important? Both are important. But both are important at their own specific times. So, what are these specific times? The sympathetic nervous system needs to function when we are in a state of threat, in any kind of danger. So, for example,
Okay.
if you're walking down the street and there is heavy traffic, your sympathetic nervous system should be kicking in then. If it didn't, some mad guy driving like a crazy fellow or whatever, and he suddenly drove up to you, honked, but you didn't pay attention, and then boom, hit. But if your sympathetic nervous system is working, you're alert. You will hear the honk, you'll hear the sound, you'll hear the screeching tires, etc., and probably dive out of the way and be able to dive out of the way because your system is able to do it. In the parasympathetic nervous system, which is very essential, your body is in a state of building, repair, healing, and so on, or not allowing damage to happen. When the sympathetic nervous system is functioning too much, the body's resources are channeled towards those parts of the body that need the resources to be able to protect you. So why do we need this? Sorry?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. I just started thinking what you're saying. Like, what about people that live in the city where it's always traffic, always sounds, always danger? Then they're always in the sympathetic and they're never
Yes,
getting a chance to. So
exactly.
really, that's why like escaping and going into nature allows you to go into the parasympathetic, really allowing you to calm down your nervous system and repair. That's so
Indeed,
interesting.
indeed,
Wow.
yes. However, even though we are in the city, even though there is honking going on, it's not like we are on the street 24 hours. We may be
True.
on the street an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. So I can understand if your sympathetic nervous system is kicking in then. But once you're back home, once you're in your living room or in your bedroom or on your dining table or whatever, Where's the need for the sympathetic nervous system? But then there is so much stress built up in our systems. We are always in that fight or flight, which is what the sympathetic nervous system is.
Yeah.
Either it needs to fight or it needs to run away to protect itself, because if there is threat on a human being, he can only do two things: he can fight or run away. So
Yeah.
therefore it's called the fight or flight.
Yeah, I think I think up until recently I've been in that all the time, just with business and stress and people and things. Like I felt like my insides felt like an engine, like
Mm,
like I'm like I
yeah.
could feel like I'm shaking almost.
Wow,
You know what I
wow.
mean?
I absolutely know what you mean, because I've been through that as well. And see, when the sympathetic nervous system is the one in operation, stress builds up, which means high blood pressure or hypertension, indigestion, blood sugar, and numerous other conditions and diseases,
Right.
hemorrhoids, fibromyalgia, all kinds of conditions. Anyone in the sympathetic nervous system will tend to be on either drugs or smoking or drinking too much or whatever. So it's almost like stress has become a part of his life. And if
Yeah.
the system is always working in a way where the body's resources are being thrown or channeled towards survival, then the body's healing mechanism, wellness mechanisms, etc., they will not perform so well. Digestion will not happen so well. Reproduction will not happen so well, or the systems will not function so well. So, therefore, you see so many young people, especially among men, young boys, for instance, as young as 20, 25, here in India as well, they have ED, erectile dysfunction.
Right.
Women very often, after they have a child, they also have their own version of ED, FSAD, female sexual arousal dysfunction, or clitoral dysfunction, that sort of thing. So basically what's happening is energy that needed to flow easily and throughout the system has somehow stopped flowing towards those areas that were operating the reproductive system, and therefore
Interesting.
the reproductive system starts functioning below par.
Well, I know that my gut is a mess.
You'll
So, like,
you'll get it in order.
I'm happy about the breathing because my stomach is destroyed.
No, no, you'll be just fine, Christy. A few weeks into the program, you'll see the change. Believe me.
I'm
But
excited.
first, but first is belly breathing.
Okay.
Most important. This is your foundation breath.
Okay.
Everything that we do in this program, everything else that we are going to do in this program, will be based on the foundation of belly breathing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yes. So every time your attention goes to your breath or to your belly, notice how it is happening. Allow belly breathing to happen. Don't do it. How do you know? How do you allow it? Just as you did just now when you lay down on the yoga mat on your back.
Right. Yes.
Very simple. Sometimes, if you like, you can take a cushion or something and tuck it under here, if you like. Even that helps sometimes, but not necessary. Hold that posture for a couple minutes, automatically belly breathing will start happening. Let your mind, let your body become aware how it is, so that, or because of which belly breathing is happening, and let it happen. The
Mm.
more belly breathing happens, the more it becomes part of your system, the better will be your recovery from any kind of a hit, any kind of a stress or any kind of tension and so on.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the chakra system in the body.
I wasn't until after this thing happened to me. Now I'm like looking
Ah,
at it and listening to people and watching podcasts and things of that nature. But up until recently, I'd never paid any attention.
okay. So now the chakra system speaks of various different levels or different chakras, And these chakras are analogous to the endocrine system. In the medical version also, we speak of the endocrine system. So there are different kinds of glands, and they secrete different kinds of hormones. And these hormones affect our emotions, our moods, our reactions. So back to that question of the mind, all these emotions and memory combined together make up the mind. When the mind is stressed, when the mind is upset, belly breathing cannot happen. So if you want to bring some control over your mind, get into the posture where belly breathing happens, or get into a position so that belly breathing happens. It'll calm the mind. Anytime you are stressed, anytime you're upset, anytime you feel your emotions are going out of whack, work on the belly breathing, because you can't work on the mind directly then. You can't. It just doesn't
Yeah.
happen.
Right.
So work on the belly instead.
Okay.
Allow belly breathing to start happening. Slowly, your emotions will start calming down. As your emotions calm down, your mind will also calm down. Calming the mind is a very, very important thing, and most people don't know how to calm themselves. They know how to get themselves excited, but they don't know how to calm themselves.
Yes.
And
That's an important tool.
yeah, and belly breathing is like a tool, like a magic wand in your hand.
That's nice.
Anytime you are stressed, allow belly breathing to happen. But not only then, allow belly breathing to happen all the time so that you're never stressed or almost never stressed. It will happen. Sometimes stress will also happen. Sometimes stress will also happen in a way that you're not able to control. But even so, if those moments, those situations are fewer, relatively fewer, and shorter duration than before, then you're a winner, right? So
Yes.
this is where we start with. Can I take a call? That's
Yeah, of
from the
course.
1-8.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, it's gone. So we'll do it later. No worries. Right. So this is the basic thing about belly breathing. And belly breathing is connected with your mind, with the chakra system, and of course with the autonomic nervous system. The other thing that happens is when you do belly breathing, because of this movement, in a way, this starts to massage the organs inside there.
Okay.
The movement of the diaphragm, the movement up and down, in a sense, it starts to massage that whole area. All the organs, all our major organs are located in that zone.
Right.
The liver, the pancreas, the kidneys, the gallbladder, and so much else. The prostate for men, and so on and so forth. So many other organs, major, minor, they're all located here. Whenever stress happens and the belly feels tight, we are, in a way, strangling ourselves in some way. So, a small trick for you, take your hands like this and bring them to your neck and press very gently with your thumbs, very gently, and breathe. Very gentle press. See, your breathing becomes labored. Press a little more and see how difficult breathing becomes. Just a little bit of strain or stress or pressure here, and see the
Yeah.
impact immediately on your breath.
Sure.
Now, most people think of breath as something that comes in through the nose, goes to the lungs, deposits its oxygen or exchanges the oxygen for carbon dioxide, and throws it out. And that's the end of breath. What about a yogi? Does a yogi think the breath is like this? No. So now the next thing we will do is just stay relaxed, sit at ease. But that's a beautiful place where you are. A lot of flowers and greens and grass.
Yeah, I'm on a coffee
So beautiful.
plantation in
Oh, that's a
Colombia.
coffee
It's
plantation.
beautiful.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I read that on your Facebook thing. So wow, beautiful. So it's only you and your mom enjoying
No,
this?
so it's me and my mom right now, but I have
Mm.
a yoga instructor here, so we're doing yoga every morning. And then one of my
Ah,
friends just left this morning at 4:30 to go
okay.
back. And my sister and her wife are flying in today. So
Okay.
it'll
My
just be
sister
the
and a
four.
wife?
Yes.
Okay, okay,
She
I'm
she
sorry. Okay,
two girls.
okay,
Yes.
okay, okay, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, okay. I'm correct. It took me a moment. I'm sorry. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a brave new world.
It's a brave new world. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it is. Okay. So now what we'll do is stay relaxed, allow belly breathing to happen if it's happening, and watch your breath. Breathe in, watch your breath. Try to get a sense where the breath is going. You may not get it.
Unfortunately, it's in my chest. I know I have a lot of work to do. That's probably
Okay.
my problem, you know?
Okay.
I've
Okay.
become so used to it. So I'm gonna do my hands on my chest and my belly a lot so I can be conscious of it.
So it doesn't matter. Notice your breath wherever it goes. This is not a test, or we are not giving scores, or we're not giving certificates or anything. So wherever
It
it
goes
goes,
to
no
my
worries.
chest.
Okay, no worries. Now, in this program, you've got to become more and more conscious of your breath. Watch where your breath goes. Watch what your breath does. The SWA-TANTRA Kriya program is a very powerful program. Now you feel your breath goes till your lungs or till your chest, thereabouts. As we go deeper into the program, you'll see that your breath is actually going down all the way towards the perineum. Where is the perineum? Where the legs fork, all the way down. You'll actually
Wow.
feel you'll actually feel your breath there.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's only part one. That's only one.
So exciting.
So most people feel their breath till here.
Right.
Your first port of call, if I can say, if I can call it that, is down to the Mooladhara, to the perineum. That's your first port of call. But that's still only one channel that you will feel. And as we go deeper, you'll get access to a second channel. So you'll feel now you have access to two different channels, parallel channels. And then after, this will take a little longer, or much longer. You'll actually feel a third channel. So while
Wow.
most people are breathing like with half of one channel, you will start using three channels in your body.
Wow. That's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Let it happen, then we will talk about the amazement. For now, we are still starting out. And as this happens, it's going to revamp your energy system. In yoga, we speak of panch kosha, five sheaths. So there is a physical body. This is called Annamaya Kosh. This is made of food, the food that we eat. This is what creates this physical body. Then there is the
Okay.
Manomaya Kosh, the mental sheath, mental body, if you like. This is made of all that our senses bring in, all the input that comes in from our senses and experiences and so on. That's the mental body. There is another one called the Vijnanamaya Kosh, which is your knowledge body. Because once that is available, it's like you can almost access knowledge from the universe directly. You may have read stories or heard stories about certain musicians. They would sleep,
Sure.
they would dream their music, or scientists.
Musicians, inventors, scientists, everybody.
Yes.
Yes.
So they would just access this knowledge body, the Vijnanamaya Kosh, which would, in a sense, download relevant information or knowing and process it and then bring it out to the world.
Yeah.
And then there is the last one is called the Anandamaya Kosh, the bliss body, where you're in a state of pleasantness, in a state of calm, in a state of joy. But before you get to these, there is another body called the Pranamaya Kosh, the energy body. Nothing
Okay.
can function without energy.
Okay.
None of these, neither the physical, nor the mental, nor the Vijnanamaya, nor the Anandamaya, they cannot function unless the energy body is in a good state of being.
Okay.
But most of us are aware of our physical body. We're aware of our feelings, what our mind dictates, what our mind says, and so on. But very few are aware of the energy that is flowing inside,
Right.
or the pathways, or ways to make sure that this energy is able to move and grow and function without too many obstructions. When this energy body becomes active and functioning well, and naturally it's easier for a younger person like you. You are younger, so it'll obviously start functioning far better on you than it would on me. So if you start working on these systems now, very soon you'll see how it is beginning to change your perceptions, your attitude, your consciousness, which is what I'll come to in a moment. These chakras that we spoke about, think of these different chakras as different levels of consciousness. Think of these, or imagine a tall building, let's say with 7 floors, if you want to think of 7 chakras. Or if you want, because these are the 7 major chakras, that there are actually more chakras. There are, and according to the yogis and those who've gone deep into the subject, there are about 112 chakras in the body and 2 outside.
Oh,
Are you cold, Christy? Are you cold?
oh no, a little bit, but
Uh,
not bad.
why
Just a
don't you
little
bring
bit.
some? Why don't you bring something to
Well, I mean, it's not
warm?
really bad. It's just it's like 60 degrees. It's not bad.
Not bad. Okay,
It's
why
not
torture
bad.
yourself? Okay, all right.
It's
Okay, all right.
sorry.
So, no. I'm sorry that you're having to, bear with the cold. Maybe because you
No,
don't
no,
want
no, no.
to.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, while you're talking, I might pour another coffee. Coffee warms me up.
Okay. Yeah, get some coffee. Sure.
Keep
Yeah.
talking.
So
I love
yeah, we'll
listening
keep
to you.
talking. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
Christy. Thank you so much. Yeah. So now these 7 chakras, or the 112 chakras, if you think of them as different floors on a building,
Yes.
if you climb to the first floor, second floor, third floor, 10th floor, 20th floor, 100th floor, what you see is different.
Sure.
It's vastly different. As you go higher and higher, you see much more. Similarly, something happens with our chakras. When our energy is in the lower chakras, lowest or thereabouts, our consciousness is different.
I
But
mean, it
when
is.
our higher consciousness is activated, then we think differently. Our attitudes are different. Our thinking is different because we see things
Yes.
differently.
Very. I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. All right. So this is, how do you get to these higher chakras? Just as, for example, in a tall building, if you need to go up, you need to either go up the stairs, or you need to take an elevator. If you want to walk up the stairs, you need energy in your body to carry you up.
Right.
If you need to take the elevator, your elevator needs a power source to lift you up. So you need
Right. That makes sense.
energy. So you need energy to take you higher. But once you
Yes.
are at a higher floor, at a higher level, your vision, your perception changes. In what way is a human being different, say, than a dog? Or let's say different than a tiger?
Um, which way are we different?
Oh, okay.
Is
That's
that
the
what
question. Yeah,
is
that's
that
the
what your
question. Yeah.
question was?
Yes, yes. How are we
That
different?
that we're able to be conscious of ourselves, of our being, to contemplate the future and think about the past. I don't know.
Okay, okay, fair enough. How do we know that a tiger cannot do any of these?
Doesn't seem like they do.
Okay, maybe that's fair. It doesn't seem like they do. It is generally accepted that the levels of consciousness are different. Okay, forget about the tiger. Let's say take a tiger and let's say take a fly. How are they different? Or let's say take a tiger and take a vulture.
How are they different? What one's flying and the other one's on the ground.
No, that is what they're doing. But okay, fair
Okay.
enough. That's how they're different. But okay, maybe that's a little weird comparison. So it's not easy to catch. Or let's say difference between, let's say, a fly and a plant.
A fly and a plant. One is alive. Well, they're both alive. One can move its place, can change its surroundings, and
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, so basically the difference is basically just consciousness. There is a
Okay,
difference in the level of
I
consciousness.
see. I see. I see.
How is a human being different than an elephant?
So that we're able to, we have the ability to evolve. What?
Yeah, yeah. We have the ability to do things consciously and affect both ourselves and our environment.
Okay.
Elephants do it in their own way to some extent, I'm sure, but definitely not in the way that a human being can.
Sure.
So the level of consciousness that a human being has is different than that of an elephant. An elephant has more energy, it has far more strength, yet a human being dominates over an elephant.
Right.
It is
So
a
is that
human
so
being.
is that so is that like a different, are they operating on different chakras, you think, or what is the difference?
Yes. So, see, reproduction, survival, reproduction, these are common to all species.
Right.
As you go higher, there is a bit of a social organization. You can see that in many animals. You can probably see this in almost all creatures to some extent. Some kind of social organization.
Mhm.
Then in some sort of a group, they function as a group and so on. Somebody tries to lead one, somebody tries to be, well, not tries to be led, but they get led and so on. But
Right.
beyond that, we have a thing called compassion.
Sure. Yes.
When there is compassion, you do things, you include more, though they are different, though they are not directly connected with you and so on. So you show them some kind of sense of uh, you identify with them, let me put it this way, in some way.
Empathy.
Empathy, compassion.
Yes.
This is how consciousness changes. At the lowest level, we are concerned about me, my survival.
Sure.
As it goes a little higher, we are concerned about me, my family, my partner, my children, and their well-being and so on. As we go a little higher, we are a little more concerned about our place in society, how we can impact society, how society impacts us, and so on. A little more, we are willing to do more things for others, maybe creatures, maybe other human beings, other members of society, and so on. Because the consciousness levels are changing. Comes higher. I don't think we've seen too many elephants that paint. Nowadays, of course, on social media, we see once in a while an elephant that can draw.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
that.
But
Yes,
unfortunately,
I
not too
understand
many.
what you mean. Yeah, no.
Yeah. And we don't see too many of them writing books and their thoughts and certain ideas and so on and so forth. So
Right.
expression, as your energy moves to this area. As it comes to the Agya, to the third eye, clarity. When clarity and the ability to get insights. So insight is when you're able to see deeper into things. Normally, we are only seeing into the surface of things and leaving it there.
Yes.
But if we are able to get the energy to this area, we actually become perceptive. Insights start coming to us, like we spoke about the scientists, the artists who would dream their music and so on, because this part of their chakra system is active, and it's
Right.
connected with the Vijnanamaya Kosh. When the Vijnanamaya Kosh, the knowledge body, is active, so is this. When the physical body is active, the Annamaya Kosh, it's basically the lower chakras, which means the Mooladhara and the Swadhisthana. This plays a role there. When the Manomaya Kosh has got to do with feelings, emotions, ideas, society. That's got to do with more with the third chakra, the Manipura, and the Anahata, and also maybe the Vishuddhi, expression. Vijnanamaya Kosh is about this, the third eye, the Agya, and the Anandamaya Kosh with the Sahasrara, sense of oneness, sense of unity, sense of yoga, means unity, to become one, to be one. So this is how this whole thing operates. To live, there are only two things. There is consciousness and energy. When these two things are available, life happens. If either is missing, no life. So you take a can of gasoline. There is a lot of energy there, but I don't see
But
too
it
many
needs
cans.
fire.
But I don't see too many cans of gasoline that say, "Hey, I want to drive to, say,
Yeah.
Alaska."
Right. Yeah.
So,
Needs both.
so both the presence of both creates life. Now, the magic happens when the higher levels of consciousness get activated. All this talk that we hear nowadays about the law of attraction, etc., 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 cannot function if the higher chakras are not functioning, if the higher chakras are not active.
Right. That makes sense.
So you see, there are many beings that have to struggle to somehow make a living. They work very hard, they have a lot of energy. They use that energy to make a living. And there are others who don't work hard per se, they don't use so much energy, but they think, or they create, or they use a certain level of consciousness to help them earn. So survival becomes so much easier for them. And then when it goes still higher, it's almost like you can will things to happen to you. You desire something, you will something, it just starts happening.
Yeah.
So this is it as far as the first session is concerned. Belly breathing is what you need to start doing, and doing regularly. In this course, regular feedback is important. So if you've gone through the set of rules, you might have noticed that you need to send me reports on a regular basis.
Okay. I'll check that out today.
So what is it? How do you do it? You have to be observant of your breath, because breath is the tool that we are using.
Okay.
The
So
more
sorry, where am I supposed to look for what, is it on my phone or in my email for things that you sent me?
Okay, so on your WhatsApp
On my WhatsApp,
chat,
okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
if you go through the program details, it's a longish article, it's a longish piece. Somewhere towards the end, you'll find the rules of the program. I'm surprised you
Okay.
haven't gone through it. You paid me
Sorry,
so
I've
much
been
money
so,
for
well, yeah, and look, I didn't even get the money done until
Well,
last
yes.
night.
But you did. It's there
Yeah.
in my bank.
Yeah,
Mm,
but no, I've been very busy, and today is
mm,
my first day with, well, even my sister is showing up this
mm,
afternoon, but I have the morning to
mm,
myself for the first time.
mm, And so I took a lot of your time. Oh, that
No,
was
I
last
love
night.
this.
That was last, no, that was last night when we were going to and fro with how to affect the
Oh, that was
transfer.
yesterday. Yeah,
That was yesterday.
yesterday. That was
Okay. Yeah,
yesterday. Yeah.
that was yesterday.
Yeah.
True,
But we
true.
got it figured out.
You got it figured out very well, and it's already in the bank, so all
Good.
done. Yeah. So
Good.
you'll have to send these reports on a regular basis. The reports are
Okay.
basically you need to watch your breath, which means you need to become more conscious of your breath and how it's affecting you.
Okay.
As we go deeper into the program, it's not all going to be like bed of roses. There will be challenges. I'm
Sure.
maybe I shouldn't use the word warning because that sounds a little dire, but
Okay.
as your
I'm excited.
chakras, great, because as your chakras get activated, a lot of buried stuff comes to the surface, which
A lot
can
of what?
be buried like
Oh,
karmic
buried.
buried stuff that
I
comes
don't
to
know.
the.
I think that we'll see that I'm pretty clear. I think I've been,
You'll be
uh,
surprised.
I really do believe I've been living on now that I understand chakras. I never knew what was going on, but I've always been a creator. Anything that I
Mm.
ever want, I manifest very easily. I'm a
Ah,
very I'm just a certain way. I love people. I'm kind to people. I'm like all of the things that they say that you're
nice.
supposed to do to help activate these chakras. I was already living this way in my life. Maybe
So
that's why.
that's why I felt your energy in that first chat that we had. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, so
So,
I think that I think that we'll see that it's going to be a nice process. I'm really going to
mm,
enjoy the
great.
process of learning it and
Yes.
understanding it. What the one thing that I know that I think will be a challenge for me is that feeling of oneness that I had. I didn't like it. I personally felt like, oh my God, I'm everything. That means I'm all alone. And I didn't like it. I like thinking there's a
Great.
you and there's a me and we're all. So when I was getting there and I was melting into it, I said, no, 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 I
Mm,
don't want this. I don't want it.
mm.
And so I resisted it. And I think that that's where I'm going to have my biggest problem.
Possibly. But but understand this. Maybe this is why you are here. We have a very interesting term in India. We call it a brushed yogi.
What's that?
You know what a yogi is? You know what a yogi
Yeah,
is? Yogi
let's-
is one who is on the path to oneness.
Okay.
Brushed means someone who lost his way, who got corrupted along the way.
Okay.
But we don't say it in a bad or a demeaning way. We say it endearingly.
What is it? So I got lost along the way.
So in your journey towards the oneness, which is
Yes.
which is basically the goal of life in a sense. So in
Okay.
your journey towards that oneness,
Yeah.
you got lost or you got your path got corrupted. Something
Okay.
pulled you down, pulled you back. So you lost your way that way. So we use the term brushed yogi.
That's
And we don't
interesting.
and we don't mean it in a bad way. We mean it
No.
in an endearing way. Because anyone who's alive today is here because there is some work that needs to be done. Otherwise, we'd
That's
be, into our moksha, nirvana, out of this. Christi, the earth is like a small grain of sand near a vast ocean.
yes.
The earth is as small and insignificant as that. And on that, you and I are still more insignificant.
Yeah. Yes.
And look at the size of this universe beyond.
It's amazing.
So, so as conscious beings, why should our experiences be limited only to this little speck called the earth? Why
Right.
can't we experience the rest of this great universe? If the
Yes.
earth can be so beautiful, how much more beautiful can it be out there somewhere?
That's true. That's true.
So why would you, I mean, if you're a traveler, if you're an adventurer, why would you want to be stuck here on this small speck of grain near a vast ocean? There's so much more
No,
to do.
I get it. Trust me. And I want to get comfortable with it. I just remember that the feeling was terrifying of being oneness and being all alone. I really hated that idea.
Maybe because
And so,
it was just sudden thing for you. It just kind of jumped
yeah,
at you
maybe,
from nowhere.
right. Yeah. So,
But don't worry
okay. Well,
about it. Don't worry about it. You'll get
I'm
more
looking
clarity.
forward to it.
Great, great, Christy.
I'm looking
So
forward to the adventure. And I really appreciate you so very much.
thank you so much, Christy. And I appreciate you as well because you have great energy, right?
Thank you so
And
much.
now we'll meet again on Friday.
Okay,
I'll send you the notification. So the timing will
perfect.
be a little different, not 4:30 as I wrote, but 5 p.m. for me, 6:30
Okay,
a.m. for you, right?
perfect. Thank you so
Thank
very
you,
much.
Christy. Very
Have a
nice
good
being with
evening.
you. Thank you. Have
Bye-bye.
a great day. Bye, Christy.